we are very pleased to present our research into digitizing a unique collection of sample books. And the goal of this project was to find a way to safely digitize this collection with respect for its physical integrity. We will briefly present our research approach, show some of the results and lessons we have learned. Museum de Lakenhal, a former quality inspection hall for fabrics, holds a unique information source. 33 sample books containing more than 100 years worth of samples. The collection gives a glimpse into the Leiden cloth industry, which was in high demand worldwide. Samples were adhered with sealing wax on pages that were folded in 4 columns, like you can see here. Next to the samples, the Dutch syndics wrote down the name of the fabric dyer, the date and the quality grade of the approved fabric. There are several challenges in making this collection accessible for research. The most important being heavily deformed book blocks. As you can see, the pages are hooking into each other, making consultation risky. And furthermore, there are very brittle paper edges that are dirty as well. Loose samples, iron gall ink corrosion, and fragile lacquer layers. In an attempt to disclose its content, one book was invasively restored in the 80s. All the pages were lined, and the book was rebound in its original parchment cover. This drastically altered the original appearance of the book, which led to iron gall ink corrosion, cockling and air bubbles, an inflexible binding, changes in the woolen samples, and material loss. Looking back, this was not the way forward. In her master thesis, Margot Terpstra demonstrates by making dummies, as seen here on the right, here, that deformations already occur in an early stage. It is therefore likely that the first undulations already appear when the samples were added by the Dutch syndics. What was perceived as damage in the past is now seen as an integral part of the books. Keeping the deformations and restricting conservation treatments seemed the way forward. Over the years, the scientific demand for this collection increased significantly. The books appeal to a variety of scholars, ranging from historians to conservation scientists, and with the rapid development of advanced digitization techniques, the time seemed right to bring the books back to the future and make them accessible for research. But how? With funding from Metamorphose, we were able to assess with 2 experiments if digitization could be possible. By reflecting on the past restoration and taking into account the authenticity of the deformations, we concluded that conservation treatments prior to digitization were not an option and that the collection must be digitized in its current deformed condition. Of course, a high-resolution image with a fully readable text was the overall goal of this project. In the first experiment, developed together with the Spanish company Factum Foundation, we decided to go fully experimental by combining the results of 2 techniques into one image. We used photogrammetry for recording the text. By taking several pictures from different distances and angles, a 3D model can be composed, and this model can be digitally flattened to unveil the text, even in hard-to-reach places. And we used the Selene photometric scanner for capturing the samples in high resolution. This is a 2D plus technique that captures both color information and 3D information. It can obtain an ultra-high resolution of 25 microns. The Selene uses a camera with a set of 4 flashlights, working in coordination. A portable tripod-mounted version was used in this test, as you can see here on the pictures. To optimize the results of the Selene, it was advised to keep the pages as flat as possible during scanning. For this, we developed a lightweight suction disc made of acid-free corrugated board and connected to a vacuum cleaner with adjustable suction power. This device exceeded our expectations. Most of the pages could be safely flattened to a point that the Selene was capable to capture an entire page and not just the samples. Therefore, in this case, photogrammetry can be considered only as a complementary recording technique. And after scanning, the page could be safely returned in its original deformed state. So, let's look at some of the results of this test. Here you see a page in its deformed condition prior to digitization. And here it is during digitization, flattened with the aid of the suction disc. Fragile parts are protected by covering the suction disc locally. And here is the digital image created by the Selene scanner. On the left, you see the color information, and on the right, you see the 3D information, in which the topology of the surface is captured. Both images can also be combined. And by capturing the surface relief, details that were previously went unnoticed are uncovered, like the impressions of writing tools as seen here in the bottom page. Now Edith will tell you more about the second experiment.
Thank you. The second test was developed together with the Dutch company GMS. After the first test, we realized that the books could withstand more forces than assessed beforehand. So in the second test, we considered working in a semi-production setup with a book cradle and glass plate. GMS offered to adjust their existing book cradle so that it became suitable for these books. Here you can see the book cradle developed by GMS. The book is supported by 3 adjustable plates. The bindings were flexible enough to be opened more than 180 degrees. A metal plate is placed under a page without pressing on top of the underlying book block. The page is held in place as flat as possible with a glass plate. Oh, this is the metal plate, sorry. And this is the glass plate set up on top. The glass plate is only pressing lightly on top of the undulations, and it doesn't touch the textile samples. Here you can see the book cradle in action. Usually, a glass plate is positioned horizontally. In this setup, the glass plate can be placed in different angles, and the position of the camera is adjustable to stay parallel to the glass plate. Here you can see. Here you can see how the pages are safely positioned with a special clamp on the left picture. Then the glass plate is put on top. And on the right, you see the book in the cradle. Here is a more detailed picture showing the position of the page between the metal plate and the glass plate. And as you can see, the samples are not in contact with the glass. Here is the digital results of the test. All the text is fully readable. And although the setup uses standard photography, the paper structure and textile fibers are clearly visible in high resolution. We've learned a lot during this project. What seemed impossible is now possible. The digitization of these books in their deformed condition. With regard to the theme of this symposium, we want to share some insights on the role of the conservator during digitization projects. We feel that conservators are the guardians of the book in terms of both preserving the physical object and the historic, sometimes intangible information they contain. We have a role in exploring techniques and developing helping aids to fit the needs of the object during digitization. Our role is not limited to treatment prior to digitization. We are experts in handling and have extensive knowledge about materials, construction, and damage. This is very valuable throughout an entire digitization project. Without this knowledge, we believe the results of this project would not have been the same. So we would like to thank you for your attention and all the partners working with us in this project. Thank you.